I dreamed a dream in time gone by.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for fictional characters from films that really did not deserve what they had to deal with. Seriously, spoiler warning for massive fictional injustices. Number 10, Wanda Maximoff, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. If ever there was a character that became their own worst enemy, it's the Scarlet Witch.
You break the rules and become a hero. I do it and I become the enemy. That doesn't seem fair.
A Sokovian war orphan along with her younger brother Pietro, Wanda volunteers to be experimented on by Hydra, which enhances her innate magical abilities. She finds love with the Vision, but when he dies, she creates a fantasy of their life together, trapping a whole town in the process.
We could go wherever we want.
No, we can't. This is our home.
When she's forced to give up this illusion, Wanda still tries to find the children from her fantasy life in a parallel reality and is willing to kill an innocent teenager for the power to travel throughout the multiverse. Eventually, it all leads to her own demise. No one mourns the wicked, except us, of course. R.I.P. Wanda.
I opened the dark hold. I have to close it. No one will ever be tempted by the dark hold again.
Number 9, Lee Chandler, Manchester by the Sea. At first, Lee Chandler seems like your typical bitter divorcee, who must care for his orphan nephew after his brother's death.
Let's just leave it,
I'm just
okay?
saying I don't like him being in a freezer.
Yeah. I don't like it either, but it isn't him, because he's gone. It's just his body.
But behind Lee's despondency lurks a horrible secret. His 3 children were in a fire that occurred because he drunkenly neglected to put his screen in front of the fireplace.
I'm about halfway there. I can't remember if I put a screen on the fireplace. But I figure it's okay.
Maddened by guilt, prevented from ending his own life, he now struggles with raising his nephew in the community where the darkest tragedy of his life took place.
I can't let you freak out with the door closed. And if you're gonna freak out every time that you see a frozen chicken, I think we should go to the hospital. I don't know anything about this.
Haunted by his ghosts, Lee turns to drink and bar fights. Eventually, Lee arranges for a family friend to take Patrick in. One mistake can really change your life for the worst, a lesson Lee has learned and lives with constantly.
Why can't you stay?
Come on, Patty. I can't beat it.
Number 8, Selma Jeskova, Dancer in the Dark. The immigrant life can be cruel, and it is especially tragic for Selma Jeskova.
It's not as bad as it sounds. It's a family thing.
A Czech immigrant living in the US, Selma has a degenerative eye disease which is likely to also afflict her son, Gene. Selma is saving up money for an operation for Gene, only for her factory job to let her go and her landlord Bill to steal her savings.
Well, you can have it back. No, you can have it. You can have it back in a month.
But I can't do that, Bill.
Confronting Bill about the theft, Selma accidentally shoots him, and Bill begs her to finish the job and kill him. Selma is arrested, accused of faking her eye injury, and sentenced to death. Selma's bleak life is punctured by musical sequences, showing her love of musicals. Dancing in the Dark Until the Tune Ends has never been so heartbreaking. Number 7, Sirius Black, Harry Potter franchise. Godfather to Harry Potter, Sirius Black was born into a wizard supremacist family. Sirius rebels early and well by running away from home to live with his best friend James Potter. But as young adults, the resistance against Voldemort ultimately leads to his best friend's death.
The world isn't split into good people and Death Eaters. We've all got both light and dark inside of us. What matters is the part we choose to act on. That's who we really are.
To make matters worse, another fellow friend betrays the Potters and frames Sirius for his own actions.
This is such a Sirius. What would you have done? What would you have done?
I would have died! I would have died rather than betray my friends!
Though Sirius manages to escape Azkaban and reconnect with Harry, he has to hide out in his abusive childhood home, which doesn't help his already delicate mental health. In the end, he's killed by his cousin, Bellatrix Lestrange, while trying to save Harry from Voldemort. For such a brave, principled, and charismatic character, Sirius's life was seriously awful.
When all this is over, we'll be a proper family. We'll see.
Number 6. Anakin Skywalker, Star Wars franchise. Villains often have the most heart-wrenching backstories.
Why'd she have to die? Why couldn't I save her?
Before he was Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker was a slave turned Jedi Master, conceived without a father and prophesied to bring balance to the Force.
He is the chosen one. You must see it.
Clouded this boy's future is.
Falling in love with and secretly marrying Padme Amidala, his fears for her life make him easily manipulatable by Palpatine.
Ironic. He could save others from death, but not himself.
Is it possible to learn this power?
Turning to the Sith, Anakin massacres the Jedi Temple, strangles Padme in a fit of paranoia, and duels with his old mentor, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
You underestimate my power! Don't try it!
Obi-Wan cuts off his limbs and leaves him for dead in the lava. Rescued by Palpatine, Anakin is fitted with armor for his mutilated body, thus becoming Darth Vader. Anakin's descent to the dark side is the result of his suffering.
I'm a Jedi. I know I'm better than this.
Number 5. Beatrix Kiddo. Kill Bill Volume 1 and Kill Bill Volume 2. Here Comes the Bride. Quentin Tarantino's vengeful heroine definitely has suffered greatly at the hands of assassins led by Bill.
Do you find me sadistic?
Once a member of the Deadly Viper Squad, Beatrix becomes the group's victim at her wedding rehearsal in El Paso. Pregnant with Bill's child, she manages to tell him so right before he shoots her in the temple. After falling into a coma, she awakens to kill her would-be assaulter and swear vengeance on her former colleagues. Beatrix dispatches them one by one until at last she confronts Bill, who is raising their daughter, Bibi, who had survived. At least Beatrix did indeed kill Bill, but at what cost?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Number 4. Smeagle, the Lord of the Rings franchise. One of the most pitiful creatures in the Lord of the Rings universe, Gollum began as a hobbit named Smeagle, who was corrupted by the One Ring of Power. His desire for the ring leads him to kill his relative Deagle for it. Centuries later, when Bilbo Baggins acquires the ring and gives it to Frodo, Gollum follows in hot pursuit.
They stole it from us. My precious.
The evil of the ring leads to Gollum's body and face becoming unsightly and distorted. Gollum's ring lust serves as a parallel to Frodo's own temptation, leading both to the fires of Mount Doom. While Frodo conquers his temptation, Gollum is too far gone, a merciful end to a life full of torment. Number 3. Fontaine, Les Miserables. She dreamed a dream in times gone by.
Hope was high and life worth living.
From Victor Hugo's tome, Fontaine's life is just one among many miserable ones. After her lover abandons her and their love child, Fontaine is forced to work at the factory, sending her wages to her daughter Cosette, raised by the corrupt Thénardiers. When her love child's existence is discovered, Fontaine is fired and in desperation sells her hair, teeth, and then her body. Sickened and dying, she manages to tell Jean Valjean about Cosette.
Tell Cosette I love her.
But she's never reunited with Cosette and dies without seeing her, or knowing that the Thénardiers have been conning her all along and keeping the money for themselves instead of Cosette. Life has definitely killed Fontaine's dream.
I dream.
Number 2. Frankenstein's Monster. Frankenstein. Who's the monster and who's the man? The tale of Frankenstein and his misunderstood monster has been adapted many times, but this 30s film is by far the most iconic one.
It's moving.
Unlike the novel, Frankenstein initially doesn't turn away from his monster, played by Boris Karloff. But when the monster is frightened by fire, Frankenstein mistakes his fright as an attack. He and his assistant chain it in the dungeon.
Quick! Catch the rope, quick!
The monster escapes and even befriends a little girl, but when he throws the girl into the lake, she drowns. The monster seeks out and tries to kill Frankenstein, only to be burned alive in the windmill by a mob. What a sad end to his sad life. Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Ellen Ripley, Alien franchise, because between the aliens and finding out her daughter's dead, it's trauma enough. John Wick, because he just wanted to grieve his wife and they killed his dog.
In that moment, I received some semblance of hope. An opportunity to grieve unalone. And your son took that from me.
Laura Palmer, Twin Peaks Fire Walk With Me, because Laura is a murder victim in her own story.
Look. There's dirt way under this fingernail.
Joanna Mason, the Hunger Games franchise, because she refused forced labor and her whole family was murdered.
Make him pay for it.
The victor of last year's Hunger Games!
Koba, the Planet of the Apes reboot series, because he was experimented on, abused by, and traumatized by humans. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Celie, The Color Purple. The lead of Alice Walker's novel turned film, Celie leads a life of poverty-related horrors and abuse.
Can I see if a letter come from Natty?
Ain't nothing for you here. I don't never want you messing with that mailbox, you understand? That's my business. I done fixed that mailbox so I can tell if it be messed with.
Taken advantage of by her own father, Celie gives birth to 2 children, whom her father quickly gives away. Celie's forced to marry Mr., a widower with a hard hand. She does find love in the form of Shug, Mr.'s longtime mistress, but Mr. catches her and prevents her from running away to Memphis with Shug.
What you doing?
Nothing.
Don't look like that to me.
After discovering her sister Nettie's letters, Celie finally stands up to Mr.
The jail you planned for me is the one you're gonna rot in.
At the end, she and her sister reunite. Celie's story is one of hardship, abuse, and betrayal, and it's all too real and undeserved. At least her musical counterpart gets some neat songs. Which other film characters made you suffer along with them? Let us know in the comments down below.
I'll see her when I wake.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.